How are you all? We can have an
Fine,
interactive
fine.
session if you could on your cameras. Okay, that's fine. So today demo session is exclusively meant for your IMO class 9 preparation. So this is a demo session to just explain you the things, how are the sessions are, the program is going to be. So let's start with the basic intro of MTG since your sessions are going to be with MTG. So we MTG, when we take up the core introduction of MTG, you can see that we have been the #1 education publishers for various educational programs like NEET, JEE, CBSE, CUET, Olympiads, and other foundation books. And we have been so vast that our books and our content is being used in 72 different countries from K to 12, and even for test preparatory 19 plus crores of copies of our books are being sold already, and what 2.1 lakhs of schools and coaching centers are using our content, and 6.75 lakhs teachers prefer MPG content for their teaching process. So such a big what do you say content the scope we have for MTG. And as MTG is already said to be the academic partner of Science Olympiad Foundation, so the courses that we provide you through MTG for the Olympiad preparation will be the best at most, because we are the Olympiad setters and we are the one who coach you for your Olympiad preparation as well. So coming to the first thing, that why do we suggest you for our program, that we will be describing in this session. So today's session is all about what is IMO and why is it important to you. Next, what are the codings and challengings that you are going to come across when you take up Olympiads, and how can you decode those challenges with our program. That we will discuss. Next, your path to success exclusively IMO guidance. So what sort of guidance do we provide you to make you successful or to make you reach your path? That is what our program is today. So now coming to IMO International Mathematics Olympiad. So the competition landscape that if you see, as I've been told you, so in 72 plus countries, we have been using our content, and our Olympiads is being conducted in so many countries, and 8 million plus children use our Olympiads and they check out their knowledge in mathematics, not only in mathematics, in others, in NSO, IEO, in all other competitive exams conducted by the Olympiad Foundation. So when we talk about the benefits of participating in Olympiads, so being an Olympiad student, what sort of benefits do you definitely get, and how are you far different from the rest of your peers? That if you observe, it develops your critical thinking and problem solving skills. So as being an Olympiad trainer from many years, I can gut surely say that once a student becomes a Olympiad student, he is obviously in limelight than compared to the other students, because his critical thinking, his IQ, his problem solving skills, everything are much improved, are much better than compared to the other students. Depends upon the mathematical understanding. So whenever you become an Olympiad student, because your rote method or by hearting the formulas or learning the basic method of solving a question will no way help you to solve IMO questions. So you should have a good content grip, and your mathematic ability should be far better than the others. So that will be deepened in Olympiads. Enhance logical reasoning and creativity. So obviously, as I've been telling, so if you need to improve your IQ, obviously your logical reasoning should be much highly equipped or technicized than that of the other children, because IQ always has logical reasoning as a part of it. So Olympiad always includes logical reasoning into their paper as a part. Boost confidence and resilience. So as you all know, once you are good understanding over your concepts, and if your problem solving skills have been developed, obviously your confidence is boosted and you will be a far better competitor for the others. opens door to scholarship and academic opportunities. So this is another thing. So once you are a topper in the Olympiads, so your overall academic performance will be much better than before, and you will be having much scope to get advantage of different various scholarships provided. So compete with brightest mind globally. So this is also one more better best way that you could expose yourself, since Olympiad is being conducted worldwide by SOF. So once if you are a part of Olympiad, obviously you are being exposed globally, and you can check out your position in compared to students in different scenarios. So when we come to the academic exam of IMO, that is annual exam that is conducted by IMO every year. So in the year 2025 and 26 academic year, the dates of IMO Olympiads are given as 3 dates. One is 12th November, 28th November, and 12th December. So out of these 3 dates, your schools will be choosing one out of their best choice for their students. So on these day, one of these dates, you'll be having your Olympiad exams. And these dates are meant for every student from grade 1 to 12. So what dates does your school prefers? That date would be your exam, but one of these dates are going to be that your exam of IM. So when we come to the paper pattern, as if you are already an Olympiad student from many years, you will be knowing the paper. But if you are the first time for the Olympiad, so here is the paper pattern which is given here. So when you go for your first part, yeah, basically classifications will be out of totally how many questions you'll be having? 35 questions will be there. So out of these 35 questions, this is for 1 to 4 grades, and for 5 to 10 grades, it will be 50 questions. So since you are in 9th grade, we will talk about only the second category, which is 50 questions category. So in this 50 questions, logical reasoning will be your first section with 15 questions, each carrying 1 mark, gives you a total of 15 marks. Next one is your mathematical reasoning, that is your mathematical understanding. So which has 20 questions, each giving 1 mark, makes up a 20 marks as a score. And everyday mathematics, so how are you applying the mathematical knowledge that you gain in the particular class in your daily life will be this particular section, which has 10 questions, 1 mark each, makes up 10 marks in total. And last but not the least, many people have this as a favorite section. Many are scared about this section, which is the achiever section, which has only 5 questions, each carrying 3 marks, making up 15 in total. So your total questions are 50 and your total score is 60. So this is the pattern of IMO paper for grade 9. This is how your paper is going to be. Okay. So let's see further. What do we have in this session? So when we talk about what is IMO section wise questioning scheme. So how are the various sections? That's now we have seen. We have logical reasoning, mathematical reasoning, everyday mathematics, and achiever section. What is the speciality of each and every section in the paper? Let's have a glance here. Logical reasoning, if you see, this section helps you to test your analytical thinking. Like it has various reasoning topics like patterns, classifications, analogy, coding, decoding, images category like water and mirror images, blood relations, direction sense. So there are different types of questions that you get in your logical reasoning section. Next, mathematical reasoning. So this is one category where your core mathematics concept are tested. Like every topic of your class 9, like you have polynomials, you have real numbers, you have whatnot, geometry, you have that triangles, quadrilaterals. So many concepts are there, even mensurations, data handling. So whenever you have these type of topics, they all come under, that is your regular mathematical topics come under this mathematical reasoning section. And your third section is everyday mathematics. As I've already told you, whatever your concepts you are learning are being considered into mathematical reasoning section, same are applied to the real world situation, and your questions will be based on those applications. Last but not the least, achiever section. So this is the section where your hot questions do occur, where your for sure supposed to think out of the box so as to apply your concepts of regular mathematical reasoning to solve out the achiever section questions, because they are almost challenging questions, well designed with the advanced level of upgrading the concepts. So for that reason, this will be having a more weightage compared to the other sections of the paper. So when we talk about Olympiad paper, that is IMO paper, basically what type of questions do we get? If you see that, you can understand whatever the section of the paper it could be there. Overall, the paper is designed in such a way that your observation, your thought-provoking, your problem-solving skills, your logical thinking skills, that is, your multiple intelligence is being enhanced. So all of this keeping in mind, the questions are versatilely designed. That is, you don't get a direct question and answer type. You get various types of questions in the paper. A few of them are like picture-based questions, like you have certain pictures being given. Basing on the data on the picture, you are supposed to solve that question. Next, we have graph-based question. So since you are in higher grades, graph-based doesn't question mean that it is a bar graph or a pictograph necessarily. It could be different types of graphs also. In higher grades, other than data handling, you have graphs in other topics also. So sometimes your graph question may not visualize you any graph in the paper. So graph question will be there. The question will be on a graph, but you will not be having the graph in the paper. You have to make the graph by looking into the question and then solve the question what is being asked basing on the data. So graph-based questions are basically two types, with graph and without graph. Next, statement-based questions. So where multiple statements will be given, you have to check which is right or wrong, or whether they are following a sequence or not, or if one statement is related to the other or not. So you get various types of statement-based questions. Till class 8, there are questions of basically one type. When it is a statement-based question, statement 1, statement 2 will be given, you'll be checking. But in class 9, it is not same as so. Even in the graph-based question, also the same thing. Like picture-based questions also. Sometimes the picture will be giving you a depict of the complete given data. Sometimes using the figure, you are supposed to make the extra parts of the figure and then analyze the data. So the picture could be of any type. So depending on the gradation of the class, the concept or the level of these questions also do vary. Next, we have comprehension type questions and match the following questions. So comprehension in the sense you'll be given a paragraph or you'll be given a various stages in a content where you have to decide what is right, what is wrong, or using the content you are supposed to solve some other part of the question. So it could be any other thing. In the same way, you have match the columns. So match the columns you all are familiar with, the same match the columns. Next, true or false questions. Again here, since you are in higher grades, instead of 2 questions, you may have 3 questions, you may have 4 or 5 questions also. So the number of questions in the true or false also may increase. Next, you have, as usually, fill in the blanks questions. Like a part of the questions, multiple questions will be missing. Those parts you are supposed to identify. Directly, it is not necessary. You are mentioned as these are filling in the blanks with multiple questions. The questions could be of various categories. So what all types of questions just now I have been describing you, let's have a brief understanding of those questions. Today, I would like to present some questions in front of you, which could give you a brief understanding of the various categories that I have been telling you. And the categories which we have been discussing so far includes mathematical reasoning, everyday mathematics, and achiever sections. We are not taking up the concept of logical reasoning into it because this class is purely meant for mathematical reasoning. That is IMO, mathematical topics of grade 9. So here are some questions. It's not necessary that you are supposed to definitely solve it, but I suggest everyone to equally take part. Try to solve it with the knowledge you have. Some of you may feel that we are just into 9th class. We don't know any concept of 9th class. How can we solve it? Do not bother. The questions are just to make you visualize what type of questions you get in the exam. But it doesn't mean that you are for sure supposed to solve it. How can you easily solve it? By certain hints or tips and tricks that I will be explaining you today. So if you are ready, we will start solving certain questions so as I can focus on your thinking ability. You can even see that to what extent your existing knowledge on mathematics, that is, your practicing skills of maths in your previous grades has been helping you. To what extent your learning is being focused, how are you analyzing the concept, and how fun are you getting by solving these questions. So I'm just going to present you a few sample questions of those. Here we go with the first one, which is a picture-based question. So here there is a concept given on triangles. In this triangle, you are clearly mentioned that P, Q, and R are the middle points of the respective sides of the triangle. Now we are supposed to find the perimeter of the quadrilateral which is formed with one vertex of the triangle and the three midpoints, that is A, R, P, Q. So if you can try it, if not, I'm here to give you a hint of how can we solve this. And how is that hint developed? We will study that in the core classes when our program begins in the particular chapters. But today I'll give you certain hints of how can we solve these questions easily. So anyone who is interested can try. If you have an answer, you can unmute to answer me. Okay, by giving certain hints, I will make you people to solve this. So who is interested to solve it along with me? Please raise your hand. I will call up that person. Because I want to make the session interactive rather than being a one-sider. Who is ready to being called? Your cameras are off, so I couldn't see what sort of response are you people giving. So whom can I call up? Yes, Pratibha. Very good. No, it's not
Ma'am, my
Pratibha.
name is Prarabdha.
Okay, Prarabh. Sorry, dear. Sorry, I was just guessing out for one other girl. Okay, Prarabh. Sorry. Welcome, Prarabh. Welcome to the class. And I'm happy that you have volunteered yourself to answer it. Okay. So, do you have any idea about the concept of this problem?
About the concept, we might use the, do you say that?
Okay, do not bother.
No, I have no idea.
Do not bother. Do not bother. So, I give you a small shortcut condition basing on which you can solve this question. What is the condition is, in any triangle, if I join the midpoints of two sides of the triangle, now suppose if this triangle is some PQR, you think. In this PQR, I have a line segment XY, which is joining the midpoints of these two sides. Okay. Now, the measure of this line segment XY is half of the third side because it is joining the first side and the third side. Now, this line segment measurement will be half of this QR. That is, XY measurement is half of QR. Using this logic, we are supposed to solve this question.
Okay, so that's the midpoint theorem, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So here, this side, RP, this side is going to be half of AC. And this is obviously AQ is also half of AC. So
Okay.
RP and AQ are same. Same way, PQ and AR are same because AR is again half of this A. Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now try to solve it and give me the answer. This is the
Okay.
hint. Okay, in my chat box, I already got the answer. Sandeepan is right. Yes, Ishan, you have something else to say?
Just answering the question.
You want to say the answer? Let me know.
Ma'am, okay, I will just write it in the chat box.
You have given it in the chat box.
Ma'am,
I think you have said. No, you're not audible, Ishan. Can you be louder, please?
Ma'am, I have given you the answer in the chat. Okay.
No, I couldn't get you. Okay, you sent me the answer now. Yes, I got it. Your answer is absolutely right, Ishan. Very good. Perfect. Okay, Prarabh. Perfect. You have got the answer and the answer is absolutely right. Very good. Very good. Perfect answers. So here, As Prarabdh has understood the technique, others also can try it and you can send me the answers in the chat box. I'll be at most happy to see your answers. So far, 3 people have sent me the answers and all those 3 answers were absolutely correct. Very good to see the right answers. Okay, let me explain you how do you get it. So basing on this logic, they have already given as AC side is 21. So AQ will be half of it, which is 10.5. And same way, as I've said, this is the line segment joining midpoints of these 2 sides. So it will be third side's half measurement. So AC is half. So this is also 10.5. Now, same logic we will use for the other 2 sides. Here, AB measurement is 30. So AR is going to be 15. And PQ is joining the midpoints of 2 sides. So obviously, it will also be half of the 30, 50. So you have 2 sides 15 and 2 sides 10.5. So totally you have to add up these measurements to get your total perimeter of the quadrilateral, which is 51. This is how we solve it. So there's a theorem in mathematics in geometry chapter basing on this midpoint conditions, which is called as midpoint theorem. So the conclusion of the midpoint theorem is used in solving this problem. So this is how you solve it with the technique of midpoint theorem application. So this is an application-based question. So here we get it as option C as the answer. The next one is a graph-based question. So here is a question. As I've told you, since you are in higher grades, a graph-based question does not necessarily display a graph on the question. You are supposed to frame the graph for the data and then solve what is being asked. So who is ready to solve this? Ishan? You have a raise hand. Are you ready? Or anyone else? So I guide you people to solve it as before the question. As Prarabdh has been able to solve it, I think others also could take a chance to try it. Yes, who is ready? So can I call up a name? Alok Soni, are you ready to solve this? Tanishta, Tejit, Anay, Arnav, who is ready to solve this question?
Ma'am, excuse
Okay.
me.
Yes, Ishan.
Ma'am, I have given the answer in the chat box.
You gave the answer in the chat box. Give me a second, dear. I'll just look into it. Perfect, Ishan. Absolutely correct. Very good. So I'll give you a hint for others how to solve this question. You can try to solve it. Yes, Prarabdh, the answer is absolutely correct. Now, this is a straight line equation. Whenever you have a linear equation in 2 variables, if you represent it on a graph paper, it becomes a straight line. And since it is a straight line, it may cut the coordinate axis. That is, in class 8, you'll be learning the Cartesian plane. So the Cartesian plane, the coordinate axis, this straight line will be cutting. So at which places it will be cutting? If we observe this straight line, if you want to know where it cuts the x-axis, you know that on x-axis, ordinate is 0. So if you put y value 0, you will get the x value here as 5. So this line cuts the x-axis at a point for suppose P. Now, same way, where it cuts the y-axis, if you want to know, you know that the axis of a point on y-axis is 0. So if you put x value 0, the y value will become 3. So this is a straight line which cuts the x-axis at 5, 0 and y-axis at 0, 3. Now the question is, what is the hypotenuse of the right angle triangle OPQ? So here this is a right angle triangle since O is our origin. Now what is PQ length is the question. So you know that O to P distance is 5 units, O to Q distance is 3 units. So obviously, PQ will be nothing but root of 3 square plus 5 square, which is root 34. This is how we solve this question. When you solve these type of questions, this concept-based questions, many in your grade 9, we have so many other topics in this chapter as well, where this part of a question solving will become oral because you'll be learning multiple concepts on this. So you don't need a bigger solving like this. Even a graph is also not need to be drawn. You can visualize it in your mind. By the visualization itself, you can solve it. So you'll have enough conceptual knowledge where this question becomes an oral to you. Just by calculating the x and y values, you can go it for root 34. Next, we have a statement-based question. Oh, sorry, 1 second. Here is a picture. Oh, sorry, here is a question. By mistake, the answer was revealed. Do not bother. I will help you out. How is this statement-based question solved? As I've told you, in your lower grades, you will be getting statement-based question as questions where you have two statements and you are supposed to judge which of it is true or both are true, one is false, that type of questions. But when you go for higher grades, a statement-based questions may include a data with multiple statements given in it. Either you are supposed to arrange that statements in a proper order or you are supposed to identify the mistake in that state. One out of the statements. Here, if you observe, as the option is already revealed, here C is the option, that is statement R is incorrect. Why is it incorrect? Here, if you observe carefully, they are telling that they are already given as ABD triangle. So if you take up this angle, if you join AB like this, now ABD, this angle is 90 degrees. And ABC, this angle is also 90 degrees. They have already given us both of these conditions after joining AB. Now, if you observe carefully, at the point B, I have two 90-degree angles. That is, I make up a 180-degree angle. Since angle at B with one circle and the other circle together is making it as 180 degrees rather than 360 degrees. So we can conclude that DBC is completely a straight line. So the mistaken part here is you are getting a supplementary angle rather than a 360-degree angle. So that is the mistake. So, and here, why are there 90-degree angles? So here, this is a given data. These statements are given that the angle in a semicircle is 90 degrees. Why is this angle in a semicircle 90 degrees? That is a deep core concept of circles that we will be discussing in the chapter where you have multiple level of understanding circle with respect to its parts. So this is one out of those inferences. So that is in any circle, if you have a diameter, that is, if you have a diameter, obviously you're getting two semicircles. So the angle made by the diameter in a semicircle is always 90 degrees. And why is it 90 degrees? As I've told you, there are many inferences because of which this becomes 90-degree angle. This logic is used in solving this question. Okay. So let's move ahead to see the next question. 1 second, sorry. Is my screen visible?
No, ma'am.
1 second. Is it visible now?
No. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Oh, thank you. I think it has gone off. So the next is comprehension type questions, as I've been telling you. So here, a table of data is being given to you and you are supposed to find the probability for the various conditions. So as you people are familiar with probability, I hope you can try this question and let me know the answer. Let me see who will be the first to send me the answers. The countdown starts now. If you are good at observation, this question is an oral one, or hardly for the simplest form, you need a one-line calculation of how do you make the fraction into the simplest form. Totally, there are 4,000 families. So the denominator of each of your probability is already fixed as 4,000. The rest you are supposed to observe those values and then calculate it. Perfect, Sandeepan. Very good. Perfect answer. So Sandeepan was the first to give the right answer. Who else is going to give the answer? Let me see. Tanishta. Perfect. Perfect. It is option D. Very good. So here, if you observe the regular probability question, which you get on dice, two dice, coins, well-shuffled pack of cards, marbles, balls, spinning wheels. So the same thing is taken up to the next higher level, where you can see a question is on a comprehensive type of data with a multiple concepts in it. Then you are supposed to solve this. Yes, absolutely right. Ishan is also correct. It is option D. So how is it option D, as you all can see? So the answer is option D. Why is it? Let us check. So here, the family which earns between 15,000 and less than 20,000 and has more than one AC. If you observe carefully, you are getting these two categories. More than one AC means 2 or above 2. So which is 150 families. So 150 upon 4,000, if you calculate, you are getting an answer to be 3 by 80. So obviously option A and C are eliminated. Now in B and D, if you check, the third part is again same. It is enough you check out the B part. So what is the B part? Earning 25,000 and more per month and having exactly one AC. So here one AC is going with 1,100 with 4,000 is 11 by 4. So these two parts are enough to decide your answer that it is option D. Perfect. So your answers are absolutely right. Happy to see that 3 to 4 people are actively answering the questions. I expect the same from the others so that your participation is utmost in the class. So here is a question. Some of it are based on your previous knowledge. Some of it are based on the existing knowledge, previous knowledge application. So what you have learned in your previous classes like 7th and 8th on basic geometry, that is being solved with typical complex questions in class 9. So to check your knowledge, this is one such question. Okay, perfect answer. Very good. Very good. Absolutely right. Prarabdh is right. Isan is right. 2 people are right. Tanishta is right. Tejit is right. Very good to see all your answers. So this is again, as I've been telling, it's the check of your previous knowledge. So to check your previous knowledge, we have chosen this question here. So happy to see that many are trying to answer this. So linear pair, the word linear pair always combines with supplementary angles. So measure to be 180. So supplementary is here in option A and C. So B and D are erased. The next part, if you see, we can look into the second part and third part as well. Anything is okay. But the sum of angles in a quadrilateral is 360, which is going with option A. So therewise, you can easily answer it. It is option A. Sum of angles in a quadrilateral is 360, not 180. So Dev is also right now. So you get the answer like this. And again, if at all, if you want to go with the angle between the bisectors of 2 acute angles of a right angle triangle measures how much? It is obviously 135. Why? Because This is again an extended knowledge of your angular bisector concept. In a right angle triangle, the two acute angles make up 90 degrees. So bisector in the sense, half of that 90 degrees is 45 degrees. When half of the 90 is 45, the rest part of the angle in the triangle is going to be 130. I'll just show you the figure if you want. So here is the figure, you can see. So I have a right angle triangle like this. So in the right angle triangle, these both are the acute angles. So these both angles, A and B, add up to be 90 degrees. A plus B is 90. Now, if I take the bisectors of this both meeting at a point. Now let me think that bisector is meeting at O. So already 90 degrees angles are made half. So obviously this parts will become 45 total. This both angles will become 45. Then obviously what will be the third part of the angle? Triangle 130. So that is the logic that we use for solving this question. So this is also your previous knowledge only. So for that reason, the answer is A for this. Okay, here you have a must the following type question to check your knowledge on parallelograms and rhombus. To what extent you people are good in properties of various types of parallelograms? Here is a check over it. Try to solve this. So for the first one, it's very easy. If you are able to solve one question, you'll get all those things. P is enough to solve and decide your answer. So check carefully. Very good, Ishan. Perfect, perfect. Very fast answer. Excellent. Here, if you observe carefully, X, Y, and Z are making up angles in a triangle. Yes, Satvik is also right. Very good. Dev is also right. Anya is right. Tanishta is right. Perfect. All your answers are absolutely right. So here, as usually as I've been telling, so since it is a parallelogram, if this angle is y, then its alternate angle on the other side, this is also y. If this is x, its alternate angle on the other side, this is also x. Now x, y, z are becoming angles in a triangle, which makes it 180. So P is matching with 180 only in option B. So B is the answer for this. So likewise, we can solve with certain properties, the rest are parts also, which makes you solve the question easy. So for solving the various parts, you need various properties and the conclusions of those properties so that we can solve it. Here, if you see, angle D is given as 130, making it as a rhombus. The picture, if it is a rhombus, and if D angle is 130, obviously there is a special property that rhombus possesses. What is it? Angular bisectors. Diagonals are angular bisectors. So basing on that property, we can solve this question as well. So in that case, we will be getting the X value as 25. So likewise, every shape is having a special property if it belongs to the family of parallelograms. So parallelogram family has special properties. What are all those? We can deeply study in Olympiads. So as I've been telling, B is the answer for this. So next, true or false type. So these are also based on some of your previous knowledge, some with multiple concepts in 9th class. So as I've told you, you will be getting more questions in true or false. See here, if you observe, 5 questions are there in your true or false category. So if you observe carefully, the first, that is P and the T statements are your previous knowledge. Q, R, S are the concepts of grade 9. So these are also conclusions that we get from various theorems. Till class 8, you'll be learning only certain properties in geometry and their applications. From grade 9 and in grade 10 and above, you will be learning geometrical concepts with certain special cases or special features possessed by the shapes. because of the special features, they'll get some extra properties assigned to that condition. Basing on that conditions, we will be solving this question. So let me give you a hint of how to solve it. Here, this is a special property. What is it is? Of course, this is a very simple thing. All of you know that if two sides are equal, altitude becomes the median from the vertical vertex of an isosceles triangle. So this is a special property which we'll be studying with more understanding in grade 9. So for that, this is a true state. Now, if you go for the second condition, what is the meaning of it is, in any triangle, I'll just give you the meaning of this discussion. We will do it in the actual class. If there is a triangle ABC, and if a median is drawn to one side of a triangle, now this sum of two sides for which the median is drawn, that side is excluded. The other two sides, AB plus AC, the sum of these two sides is always greater than 2 times this median. This is a standard condition. And how is it obtained and what are the reasons for its application? There is some extended knowledge of triangles inequality that will be helping you to understand this concept. And when you look into the other statements, R and S, they are also somehow the extended parts of this. So for that reason, this question is going to get an answer as option A. Yes, Ishan, absolutely right. It is option A. So this is how you get the answer for this. A is the answer for it. So basically, children, many of the students, with my experience, I come to a knowledge that among all the concepts in mathematics, they feel geometry as the most complicated one till class 10. But frankly speaking, if you are a good mathematical student, if you have a good mathematical ability, geometry will be the most easiest concept than any other chapter, because that will be so beautiful that every question will be different from that of the other questions. You will have a scope to vibrate your mind in versatile question solving. So that speciality is being possessed by geometry. Every question will make you think different. So if you are good at geometry, then all the rest chapters of mathematics are just at your fingertips. So such tips and tricks, if you want to learn in geometry, obviously you should be the part of the Olympiad program where we can guide you. So far we have been mentoring 10,000 plus students as Olympiad aspirants. So we have an effective strategies. So the thing that you need to remember is, so the main formula, if you want to succeed in any Olympiad exam, the main thing is our online program will help you in guiding that success achievements. How? We have an effective strategy with our program. A planned curriculum is there. We have regular assessments to check your understanding and the knowledge and practice. And how can you manage your time in solving various questions in an Olympiad? Where are you getting backup? So all those cases will be guiding you. You'll be having enough doubt solving sessions. Your concept building will be strengthened because we will give you regular practice and regular summarization for the concepts. And we also have a community where we help you people so that you can have a group to discuss your queries based on the concepts or any other inquiries related to the exam and the topics of Olympiad. So when we talk about the special features of our classes, we have 28 to 30 live sessions. Since you are in grade 9, you have 30 live sessions for your complete syllabus of grade 9 mathematics, where you'll be having enough doubt sessions in between. Not at the end of the sessions, even at regular intervals, you'll be having doubt sessions so that we can completely focus on your learning to check out your level of understanding. Next, doubt clearances are being solved not only in the class, even out of the class. If you have any queries, you can text us immediately within a span of 24 hours. You will be getting your doubts cleared. And after class assignments will also be there to check your understanding of your concepts. You can download the PDF worksheets for practice. So not only assignments and tests, we will be giving you enough worksheets also so that you can practice your concepts. Weekly tests are also provided to you through online access. Class revision notes is also given. So we will give you a quick summary notes for every class at the end of the class. And we will be having a discussion forum, as I've told you, for your doubts or query solving. And all the classes recordings, the live class recordings will be provided to you for one complete year duration. That is till March 2026. All the class recordings will be given you an access. And as I've told you, yes, there is a student app through web or mobile. You can use that and you can study things at any time from anywhere. So our classes are been starting as it's been scheduled here. You can see the timings and day scheduling. It's going to be on Monday and Thursday, and the timings are going to be 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. And even we are starting our NSO also, which is on Tuesday and Friday, same time, 7:30 to 9:30. Sorry, 7:30 to 8:30. So we have given you a Google form in the chat box. Please fill that Google form so that you can get some exclusive extra discounts as a benefit of being a part of this webinar. So our classes are starting from 29th March till mid-September. So you'll be having 30 live sessions, as I've told you. So we'll start from 29th March onwards, Monday and Thursday. So NSO is going to be starting on 30th March. So 30th May. IMO is on 29th May and NSO is on 30th May. Both are going to continue till mid of September. So if you want to be a top scorer or if you want to be one out of the top scorer list, so you need a proper guidance and a proper mentorship. And we assure you to provide you that mentorship. So you can reach out us with your queries to this mail ID or to the WhatsApp number which is displayed on the screen. So if you have any queries, you can ask us. We are ready to answer your queries.
Ma'am, excuse me.
So you are shared with a Google form in the chat box. Please do fill that Google form so that you can get extra benefits and extra discounts for your course that you will be enrolling.